continues from the Reynolds Center in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Not a seat to be had here. They're here to cheer on the home team, the championship game of the Western Athletic Conference Tournament. The Golden Hurricane of Tulsa taking on the Rainbow Warriors of Hawaii. Hi, everybody. Terry Gannon along with Bob Valvano. The teams that tied for the conference crown in the regular season, the top 2 seeds in the tournament, they come in. Both should be going to the NCAA tournament, but a great matchup at the guard spot tonight, Bobby.
A couple of outstanding seniors. Greg Harrington, a 6'2" guard who can beat you off the dribble. He can make the three-point shot, makes about 39% of his three-pointers. Also averages 5 assists per game. Yeah. On the other side, for Hawaii, Predrag Savovich, who's like a wholesaler. He beats you with volume. Threes, more threes, deeper threes, 6'6", and just a great shooter. Going to be a lot of fun to watch these two guys.
Should be a heck of a game. The starting lineups. Kevin Johnson is the inside presence for Tulsa. He had 20 points, 8 rebounds in the semifinal win over Fresno State. For Hawaii, 4 of their 5 starters are from outside of the United States. This is truly an international lineup for head coach Riley Wallace. The Rainbow Warriors coming in at 26-5. They won both of the matchups during the regular season with Tulsa. So we're underway from the Reynolds Center, and the Golden Hurricane control the opening tip. Antonio Reed, number 3 from right here in Tulsa. Guarded by Mark Campbell. There's Johnson. And over to Dante Swanson, the leading 3-point shooter in the country during the regular season. Harrington's first try swatted away. And it will be Hawaii basketball. The season series, the 8-point win for the Rainbow Warriors here at Tulsa, but then it was a terrific game at Hawaii. In fact, the Tulsa fans will tell you that may have been the best game that they played all year. The 16 lead changes, it came down to a crucial foul at the end of the game and free throws, which won it. Phil Martin, the 6'8" sophomore from Hamilton, Ontario, Canada, with the first bucket of the game.
Both teams, not a lot of tricks and gimmicks defensively. Being pretty much straightforward man-to-man, especially by Riley Wallace in Hawaii.
Reed inside for a deuce. Just inside the line. Antonio Reed, the junior from BT Washington High School here in Tulsa.
Terry talked about the first 2 games. Savovich had 2 great games, but they got career highs from 2 different guys, Hawaii. They're going to need much the same today. A big game out of Sabo, and then somebody stepping up.
Here's Savovich. That one was tipped away by Swanson. He got it back, and he's fouled. Riley Wallace, 15 years at the helm in Honolulu. 242 career wins. 2-2 in WAC championship games. And John Phillips, his first year at the helm, but he's a Tulsa guy. He was born and raised right here in Tulsa, and he's a perfect fit, Bob.
Yeah, he really is. This is a dream job for him. He's home, and this is a program, as everybody knows, has been kind of a breeding ground of coaches to go on and do after a great job here and move on. This guy has no aspirations to move on. He certainly has aspirations to do a great job here, but I don't think it'll be to try and take another job. He wants to stay right here.
17 years he spent as a high school coach, won a state championship, was an assistant at Oklahoma State, an assistant right here with Buzz Peterson. Part of the program, that's one of the reasons they wanted some continuity after Buzz Peterson left for Tennessee. Johnson steps out for a 3. Davis can't hang on. Swanson saves it back to him, though. Here's Reed for 3. Got it.
Well, that's one thing that neither of these teams are really especially strong at. That's on the backboards. It's kind of a wash. They both get the job done, but that's not what got them here. Their offensive play, both these teams, is what's got them in this game.
Savovich at 6'6" hits the 3-pointer. In the semifinal win over Nevada, he had 29 in the first half.
And that was a close-in shot for him. He'll go far deeper than that. Terry, you see they do a great job on the ball screen. Get that big man aggressively hedging on the dribble, and then they make the rotation.
Here's that matchup we talked about in Harrington on the drive, and Savovich got the arm in and committed his first foul.
The formula for both these teams is pretty similar, really. They are going to shoot the basketball with great proficiency. They're going to try and make less turnovers than you do. And really, as much as they say defense wins championships, these two teams, it's going to be their offense that gets the job done. They are very impressive offensively.
Greg Harrington has won more games than any other player in Tulsa history. Kevin Johnson, a nice little jump hook over Martin on the inside, and Tulsa with a 1-point lead.
Well, you talked about those 2 matchups earlier, Terry. In the second game, which was at Hawaii, was kind of like this, as we've seen in the first few minutes. Just a back and fourth game with great offensive proficiency, 86-85. We're seeing some of that early.
Carl English, who had 28 against Tulsa the last time, misfires, tapped around, and Swanson comes down with it. And this is what Tulsa wants to do, get out in transition. Johnson from the free throw line. English clears it. Carl English from Patrick's Cove, Newfoundland, Canada. Second leading scorer, right behind Savovich. A deep three, and he got it. Predrag Savovich, if you're looking for a guy who may be a sleeper, maybe a surprise in the draft, you got him right here.
He's 6'6", remember, and we haven't even seen him really using screens. He's doing this kind of just spotting up. As you point out, Terry, and we talked about him in the pregame, he really is one of the best you'll ever see coming off the screen.
Got 7 in the game already. Here Swanson maneuvers inside and brings it back out. And lost it right back to Chaim Shimonovich. Mark Campbell, the only one in the starting lineup for Riley Wallace that is from the United States. He's from Mount Vernon, Washington. Starting point guard for the Rainbow Warriors. Off the screen. Not this time.
That's not his forte, as you know, although he can do that off the dribble screen. But he'd much rather get a catch-and-shoot situation.
No time to sleep, though, back on defense. Davis, the follow. Charlie Davis, the junior out of Grand Prairie, Texas. His first rebound and bucket of the game.
No, the early advantage on the glass is going to Tulsa. And that's something that Riley Wallace is going to have to address, Terry.
The crowd starting to get into it. It's a good one early. All right, Reese, thanks. Here's how things have gone in the WAC. Hawaii advancing with a win over Nevada. Tulsa beat Fresno State in what could have been Jerry Tarkanian's last game, and Greg Harrington offered his thoughts earlier today on what Tark has meant.
I just respect him as a coach and as a person. I know he's been through a lot. It seems like everywhere he went, you don't know if the trouble came to him or if he caused it, but I really don't think he's that kind of man. But I think he's been through a lot of tough things, and I respect him for being able to endure those bad times and to stay on top and be as great as coach as he's been throughout these past years.
Well, Tark for 38 years has been major college basketball coach. Won, of course, the '90 NCAA championship. And Harrington talked to him after the game, and it was a touching moment for him. He told him what he thought of him and how he has really admired his contributions to the game.
Well, I'm impressed whenever players know a little bit about the history of the game, because it seems like more and more they're so into their own situations they don't pay attention to that. And Tark certainly has had an illustrious coaching career. That was not an over and back, by the way, despite the fans' call. Everything has to be across the line. As you know, Terry, the ball, both feet. He was straddling the line, so it was the right call by the officials.
Campbell was saved, and Martin had it blocked away, got it back, goes up with the left hand. Third try, no. Can't get the roll. Swanson comes down with it, and the foul on Shimonovich.
Both teams are having their way on the offensive glass. It's been as we suspected. When you look at the statistics, it's astounding how even these teams are in so many categories. Hawaii makes 7.5 threes a game, 7.4. Tulsa 7.6. Their shooting percentages are among the best in the conference. Their turnover ratio is about the same, and early we're seeing that at both ends of the floor. Offensive proficiency, little trouble on the defensive backboard.
And Bobby, one more point on Tark. We don't know if he's leaving college basketball or not yet. He's going to go home and think it over, and, but it may have been his last college basketball game. Swanson, back up three-pointer, in and out.
Good block out that time.
Chaim Shimonovich from Israel with the rebound. Carl English driving baseline, backs up. A little bit strong, and Kevin Johnson clears it. Here come the Golden Hurricane. They like the run. Swanson.
Got away with it. Dodged a bullet there, Hawaii did.
Martin, the foul on Johnson. Well, Hawaii will take it in transition when it's there, but they don't want this game to go 94 feet all night long, Bob.
Well, there's two reasons. First of all, none of those styles of play. Here you see looks like, again, both ends, we look like we were going to get a layup at one end and a dunk at this end. Good challenge. Make them earn it from the line. But Hawaii only has 6 players who play more than 12 minutes a game. Tulsa has 9. So if it gets to be an up-and-down game where the depth and how deep you can go into your bench becomes a factor, that certainly favors the home team. It's hard to keep referring to them as a home team when they're wearing their road black jerseys, but they are, in fact, the home team here. Tulsa has the number 2 seed, of course, with the away jerseys.
And Douglas Berneka comes in for Shimonovich. Second foul, by the way, on Kevin Johnson, and that's critical early on for Tulsa. Jason Parker, Jack Ingram into the lineup for the Golden Hurricane as they trail by 1. Davis backs in on Berneka.
It's kind of you're on your own. They don't double hard down there. They stay out on all the shooters. You can see that.
Here's Jason Parker, the local product from Tulsa. Backs up and gets it.
Tough shot off the dribble. Kind of made the same move that English made on the other end. That little lean in with the shoulder. Not enough to get an offensive foul, but enough to create some space for yourself.
Parker's first bucket just off the bench from Memorial High School. Tough cut. Everything contested in the paint by Tulsa right now. And Hawaii gets back on
when I talk about offensive efficiency, I don't want to shortchange. Tulsa leads the conference in steals and was second in block shots. So your points well taken around the basket. You get nothing easy against the Golden Hurricane.
Davis. Fadeaway jump shot, Charlie Davis.
Well, we're not surprised in the pregame when we started talking to some of the Tulsa people. That seemed to be the mindset. They were going to try and go inside a little bit, thought they might get an edge there. We saw it there, the good low post move.
Especially with Shimonovich out of the lineup right now for Hawaii. Here's Berneka. Got hit off the glass and good. Charlie Davis gets the foul. Mindaugas Berneka, the senior from Lithuania. John Phillips saying all ball.
That's a big bucket. The crowd just looking at any opportunity to get involved in the game. That left hand looked like it was on the ball first, and then actually slid over and did perhaps catch him on the arm, but a good finish by Berneka.
Berneka, 23 years of age. Savovich, by the way, is 25, so a little more experience and maturity from a few of the international players for Hawaii.
Plus, he can rent cars when he go on the road.
That's exactly right. And they are on the road often.
That's for sure.
Reed with the miss, and English clears it. They've been on the road for 12 days now. They'll hang around tomorrow to see where they're going in the NCAA tournament, and then go right to that site.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons they, like so many of the Division I teams, of course, you travel with academic counselors and tutors, but boy, with this team especially, you've got to have the opportunity to do some of that classwork online, or it'd be impossible academically.
Free throw line jump shot. Martin misses, and Harrington with the rebound. He had 8 rebounds in the semifinal win last night to go along with his 25 points.
Nice high-low.
Ingram, who's a little banged up. He injured his ankle last night. Short, scrambles to get it back.
Well, that got the crowd involved. They score here. It's going to be a roof raiser.
Harrington hits the 3.
Well, that's when you're the away guys. Those are the plays you got to be careful about. They need a bucket here to get the crowd back in their seats, because that was an emotional play. Good effort by Ingram to get the loose ball.
Savovich off the screen, wasn't squared up.
Well, that was one of the few times he was drifting badly away from the basket, Terry.
Boy, it goes from extremely loud to silent in this building.
Now they're excited. They've had a chance to go up 5 here.
It's almost like they want to be quiet, but Tulsa has the basketball.
Nice follow.
Campbell knocked it out, and we'll say right here.
But the crowd senses that is, again, Hawaii dodging a bullet right there. Tulsa had a good look, just missed the tip, and the crowd on its feet. The home team with a 3-point lead.
Hawaii won the first 2 matchups in the regular season. So far, Tulsa with the 3-point lead. Harrington from 3-point range, knocking it down to bring the fans out of their seats.
Tonight on Robo Bash, we got 5-time world champion and Victor. And in this corner, Mini Fridge.
Todd, what is it?
It's a Bud Light.
Lock on.
With a great taste that won't fill you up and never lets you down. Make it a Bud Light.
Oh, no mercy.
What do you think of this new Pontiac? Check it out.
Okay. Come here. Now, what kind of car is it? I don't know, but he just told me to get in. Get in the driver's seat. I am liking this. Look at the stick, Dad. Look at the stick. Look at it. Got the little chrome, all chromed out. Yeah, fool. We can fit, what, about 200-300 back here? Man, 1, 2, 3. Wait a minute, look at the back there. We got let me go start one back here.
Meet the new Pontiac Vine.
Oh, that's a foul, player.
Hey, what? Get out of here, man.
That's the hack. My man got 3 signature moves. Hacking, hacking, and hacking. Whatever, though. If you quick, that fool ain't hard to shake. And, yo, it didn't even matter that there wasn't a ref, because I had these, the Nike Air Flight Elevators. You can't hack what you can't catch, right? You can only get them at Foot Locker.
Reese Davis in the studio. Like our WAC game in the Big East, the top 2 teams from the regular season battling for the championship. UConn and Pittsburgh. Look at the freshman, Ben Gordon. Fine freshman guard he is. UConn and Pittsburgh tied at 41. Also, ticket was punched from the SWAC. Alcorn State behind Davey Whitney. 26 years he's led the Braves, and he's taken them to the dance for the 6th time. 70-67 over Alabama State.
All right, Reese, 14 conference championships decided. Another one later on tonight on ESPN from Las Vegas, the EAS Mountain West Championship. 10 p.m. Eastern, San Diego State facing UNLV with a trip to the NCAA tourney on the line. For more, log on to ESPN.com. Boy, the Mountain West has been a terrific tournament so far. The upset.
I was going to say, this one is living up to the bill. These teams are identical records in conference and overall, and they're pretty even today.
The tip up and good. Ingram, I think, got a piece of it. See who they credit with a bucket. But a 5-point lead for Tulsa. And they're doing the work on the glass. Out-rebounding Hawaii 13-8 so far. And they credit that last bucket to Jason Parker.
We said somebody's going to have to step up for Hawaii, especially now Savage out of the game.
Bernanke from 3-point range.
This is an important stretch for Hawaii.
Harrington under control. Jarius Glenn, who just came into the game missing, and here comes the Rainbow Warriors. They have yet to really get in the rhythm offensively. McIntyre misses from 3-point range. Mike McIntyre, who had 18 in the semifinal game.
That shot didn't really have any flow to it either. That was kind of a rough shot. They're giving up much too easy basket to the other end, and Riley Wallace knows it, and he's going to take a timeout. This is a bad stretch for the visitors, but the home crowd loving every minute of it because Tulsa having their way on offense and really not giving up very much of the defensive end.
Jarius Glenn with the last bucket.
Terry, this is much too simple. Taking nothing away from Glenn, but just a catch, one dribble, nice finish against the challenge, but still, you got to make him work a lot harder than that to get the ball 2 feet from the basket. You're not going to be able to do that against this team who's so explosive offensively. Look at those numbers.
Well, 7-0 Tulsa run over the last 2.5 minutes leads to this 7-point lead. Tomorrow, championship week presented by 7-Up concludes on ESPN with an outstanding doubleheader. The ACC championship at 1 o'clock Eastern. NC State, after the upset today over Maryland, taking on number 3 Duke and Charlotte. Then at 3 o'clock on to Kansas City as number 4 Oklahoma faces number 1 Kansas. The Big 12 championship presented by Phillips 66. The ACC championship, by the way, subject to blackout in some markets.
Tulsa showing a little zone here, Terry, looking to trap out of it, give them a different look out of the timeout, and got just what they wanted. Not a rhythm kind of shot, kind of an awkward look, and an easy rebound for the home team.
English left his feet, went for the pump fake, and paid the price. Jason Parker, the sophomore, with a bucket, and it's 22-13.
Again, looking for somebody to step up for Hawaii right now. And here's that zone again. But to get the trap out high. A nice move by Coach John Phillips, who, after the timeout, Riley Wallace obviously got into his team about settling down, getting the rhythm offensively. Don't give him a chance. Make him attack a different defense.
English forcing the issue on the penetration. He drew the foul from Jason Parker. So John Phillips playing the chess game, going to the 2-3 zone, and just like that, Riley Wallace bringing in Predrag Savovic.
Well, we talked about Savovic had good games the first 2 games. We talked about that. And then McIntyre had a career high the first time they met, made 6 threes in English the second time. So they're not only going to need Savo to play well, they need somebody else to step up. Right now they're not getting offense from very much of anybody.
McIntyre, who can shoot it, so can English. Drives. Shimonovich, the one-handed tip off the glass.
Now when you're struggling offensively, it's one of the 2 best plays you can make are a steal so you can get a run out or an offensive stick back.
Quickly, Harrington from 3-point range. In and out.
Good look, too. That was halfway down.
McIntyre. Contact, and he draws the foul. Got ahead of Jarius Glenn, who got him with the body.
Again, both these teams have not exactly dominated their respective defensive backboards. And you see Shimonovich with the good aggressive move to the glass. He's not afraid to have some contact in there, and that time nobody blocked him out, made his job a little bit easier.
McIntyre, a 73% free throw shooter with the miss. I don't think either one of these clubs, no matter who they play in the first round of the NCAA tournament, assuming they're both in at this point, you would think so. I don't think either one's going to be intimidated.
But certainly, again, when you talk about the offensive firepower, why would they be? That's the one thing you don't have to worry about where you're going to get points for either of these teams. And if that's the case, you usually feel like you can hold your own with anybody.
Marcus Ledoux, transfer from LSU, into the lineup right now for Tulsa. Parker, a quick three. Boy, he had it in his hand a split second, and it was gone.
And now you know why they're so hesitant to go even think about digging to the post, because if you do, they'll kick it right back out and make the 3. And you see right there, one of the best 3-point shooting teams in the country, leading in the conference. Tulsa over 40% from behind the arc. That's astounding.
Parker's got 9 already off the bench. Shimonovich, Ingram late getting out there. Ledoux the rebound.
Tulsa seized control of this one right now, even though it's only a small margin. It certainly feels like it's bigger than it is because they are dominating pretty much, having their way at both ends.
The way it's gone, you would expect it to be
a double-digit lead. You really would.
25-16. That's their score right now.
See if Hawaii, who's a little bit more comfortable at a half-step slower speed, can get a good look here.
Savovic, the step-back 3, nothing but net. Can he create offensively? I mean,
that's a clinic. You can just videotape that and market it, because Glenn really had him blanketed, Terry. He was all over him, just enough of an up fake, which you have to respect, and then the step back. Give himself some room to get the shot away.
He's got 3 3-pointers already, and he's in the double digits. 10 points in the game. Jarius Glenn rises up, but swatted away by Shimonovich.
Oh, nice hustle play. Going out of bounds. Charlie Davis, Marcus Ledoux, actually, ball going out of bounds, had the presence of mind to save it for his team.
The 2 best teams in the WAC playing for the conference tournament championship. Tulsa with a 6-point lead.
Anthony Grundy and the Wolfpack stunned top-ranked Maryland in the semis.
What an unbelievable moment.
Now they face the intimidating offense of the Duke Blue Devils. Championship week presented by 7-Up continues. Tomorrow, the ACC final.
On Friday, 64 teams will try to prove why only they should be called champions. The NCAA Women's Basketball Championship.
First round action begins Friday at 6 p.m. on ESPN2.
Mililani, Hawaii's master planned community from Castle & Cook Homes, Hawaii.
7-Eleven's 24-ounce Big Brew is just $1.25 every day. Enjoy our new Royal Kona Banana Caramel. And perfect with hot coffee, our fresh pastries. Great variety and value every day. Our all-beef Oscar Mayer quarter-pound Big Bite hot dog with free chili and cheese is $1.85 every day. And get the 52-ounce NASCAR Extreme Golf Mug for $5.99. Price includes first fill-up, free M&M plain or peanut candy, and $1.29 refills through July. All this at 7-Eleven.
Hawaii down by 6 right now, but take heart, Rainbow Warrior fans, because what do they do this afternoon? They ate at the Golden Corral, which has become a tradition and a superstition. They go every road trip, they find the Golden Corral. There's Riley Wallace getting seconds there. Only 3 times this year on road trips where they did not find a Golden Corral in that town. Guess what? They lost all 3 games. See how many plates?
Well, there was about 6 plates on the table there, but hey, it was pregame meal. Big guys. Savage is a big fella, and I'm not sure they have Golden Corrals in Yugoslavia, but they win again today. He may open one.
3 road trips. They did not find Golden Corrals, and guess what? Nails.
Those are the kinds of things you just can't leave to chance, Terry. You got to make sure that an assistant coach should be in charge of that. I'm sure he is right now.
They were very happy to know that there was one in Tulsa. Got to get something going on the floor here, though. Marcus Ledoux backs in on Bernayka. Loses it. English comes in to help out. Hawaii, other than Savovich with his 10 points, has really not gotten that rhythm that they're used to on offense.
Well, there's a nice pass inside.
Bernayka over Ledoux for the Deuce.
I started to say, though, that's one thing if you're the Golden Hurricane, you got to be concerned about. 6 for 23 Hawaii starts the game, and yet they were within 6, and now they've cut it to 4. You would want a double-digit lead when one of the best shooting teams in your conferences comes out that cold.
Savovich got a hand on it and knocked it away.
Talked about they do a great job of that. Tulsa very active in the lanes, and that time you saw Hawaii trying to counter it because they know they're going to have to create some turnovers against this Tulsa team where they're offensively pretty much having their way right now. They're going to have to get some easy ones off of some turnovers, some runouts, transition maybe.
Swanson short, and Bernayka with the rebound.
Savovich wanted to go. He was trying to say, let's hustle it up here. We got a little momentum. Let's take advantage.
Savovich against Parker here, inside. Backs up, fade away.
Another clinic, Terry. I watched him that whole play. Posted up, came across on a screen, pinned the guy on his back, stepped back, did all of that. Got himself a little 14-footer. There was a lot of work for that final result.
He's got 12, and there's not much he cannot do offensively. Greg Harrington waiting to check in for Tulsa. Kevin Johnson, the turnaround. Won't go.
He's halfway down as well, but isn't it amazing? That's the one thing when you're explosive offensively, how quickly momentum can shift and turn around. You get the sense right now, Hawaii, just like that, got a chance for a tie.
Savovich on the miss. Here comes Jason Parker. And the body as Savovich tried to cut him off.
All right, ready, kids at home? Get your VCRs ready because you want to do a clinic. Watch away from the ball here. Here we go. Step 1. Little duck in there. Get that shoulder in. Post up. Then across the screen. Put the man on your back. Locate the basket. Step away and make the 14-footer. He did 5 things there and did it all in about 10 seconds. Again, the experience. He's a senior. He's a little bit older, and he's a very, very gifted player.
He's got more than the rest of the team right now. But you're right. That was a clinic, and you watch him play, and there's very little wasted effort on offense. He's not going side to side to try to get open.
Everything he does is with a purpose. That's what the great ones do. And that's not an overstatement. He's a great college player. We'll see him at the next level.
Antonio Reed goes behind the back and off the chest of Shimonovich. Didn't have that in mind.
I don't think. Shimonovich was as surprised as anyone. It was the ball struck him in the ribcage.
Dante Swanson going to back it out.
You know, you just see what these star players mean to their teams. When Harrington went out, Tulsa struggled offensively, and you saw Savovich when he went out, the difference it made for his team. And no sooner do we say that, Harrington's back, and good things happen for the Golden Hurricane.
The foul on Mike McIntyre.
But he's going to get a chance to go to the line. They called it on the floor, so your baseline out of bounds.
Greg Harrington, who led the conference in assists. The number 6 all-time scorer in Tulsa history. Here he is with a turnaround in the lane. Johnson up high for the rebound, but he lost it. The whistle.
That's a good play. That was a nice play, actually. Taking the charge. Let's watch a pretty impressive rebound coming from the back. Let's watch. Johnson from the back. That's a good no call. You're allowed to rebound from the back, but he turns, puts his elbow right between the 2 and the 3 on Carl English's jersey.
And Bobby, that's his 3rd.
It was a good play by English. Didn't quit. I mean, they're reestablish. That's one of the hardest times, as you know, Terry, to reestablish position is off of the offensive rebound. The tendency is either go up and block or just stand and wait for the next rebound. He got his feet back on the floor, took the charge.
Verneka off the heel. Charlie Davis the rebound. So Kevin Johnson, the leading scorer for Tulsa, on the bench with 3 fouls for the remaining 4:30 of the first half, no doubt. Andre Reed is spin and penetration, and he draws the foul. They're going to get Mark Campbell. Now tomorrow at 8 o'clock Eastern, you know what's coming at you. Bobby Knight, the IU Hoosiers through a season on the brink. Parental discretion is advised, and of course there's a reduced adult language version over on ESPN2. Season on the brink tomorrow night, ESPN. Reed forced out, and the foul. Ingram goes over and picks up his teammate. Going to get McIntyre his second.
Trying to get a double team on the sideline and just able to turn the corner enough where he found a big guy on the other side of the lane. That was one of UB Brown's favorite passes when he was coaching, that pass behind the board. Very hard to defend that, to get that weak side rotation, and you saw it there. You slip a guy in behind the basket. It's very hard to defend unless somebody from the band's going to come and help. It's really hard to get somebody who can pick that guy up.
And that usually doesn't count.
Well, I don't think you're allowed to do that.
Unless you're Stanford and Cal in football. Ingram not going to shoot from there.
The crowd gets antsy when the shot clock gets under 15. They're so used to going up tempo.
Swanson with the miss, tipped up. Nice play by Charlie Davis to keep it alive.
This is what they were doing early, getting second and third chances.
Reed, the foul, it won't go.
That was a heady play by Reed. Again, off of the missed shot. The really great ones know when to kick it out for the 3, when to let the defense react, come to them and go by him. Reed off the offensive rebound, saw that there was just a crease. Got in there, head fake, and drew the foul. Good presence of mind to do that. Almost turned it into a 3-point play.
A foul called on Mark Campbell, his second. Antonio Reed, the junior from Tulsa, only 1 for 7 in the semifinal win over Fresno State. Both he and Dante Swanson didn't have a great night from the floor. Swanson was 0 for 4 from 3-point range as Campbell goes and takes a seat. But it was Harrington who hit every big shot to get them to this point.
Well, we've had 56 shots taken in this game already. That's a game's worth in some conferences, and we've still got 3:42 to play in the first half.
Golden Hurricane up by 4 at home, trying to win the WAC tournament championship.
Tina?
Hi, you must be Todd.
Ready to go?
Yeah.
Okay.
What are you doing?
Well, I'm trying to keep the mileage down on this car, so I drive it backwards 4 days a week.
Need a motor oil for a high-mileage car? We developed one. Pennzoil high-mileage vehicle restores the performance of older engines.
If you have a well-oiled machine with over 75,000 miles, bring it to Jiffy Lube for Pennzoil high-mileage vehicle.
You see a countryside without phone lines. At Franklin Templeton, we saw an opportunity to invest in what became one of the world's leading wireless communications companies. A smart call for our shareholders. Uncovering hidden opportunities like this requires a unique perspective, one that has made Templeton a pioneer in global investing. Franklin Templeton Investments. Gain from our perspective.
Introducing the Isuzu Axiom. It says sexy city styling. It has a V6 with 230 horses. Giddy up. Leather trim seats, smooth and supple. Plenty of cargo space, too. And America's longest and sexiest warranty. The Isuzu Axiom. You want one, don't you?
Now get 0% financing for up to 5 years or $3,000 cash back.
Reese Davis back in the studio. Big East Championship, Pittsburgh and UConn. The Co-Big East Player of the Year, Caron Butler for the Huskies, working inside and scoring to put UConn up by 4. It's a 2-point game right now. Pittsburgh has missed its last 8 shots, and Pennsylvania is in. The Quakers take care of Yale in the Ivy playoff, 77-58 the final. They're going to the dance, gentlemen.
All right, Reese, so Penn going to the NCAA tournament. What about the Big East, though, Bob? After Notre Dame, you look down the list, what happens with the Big East?
Well, after right here, it gets very dicey because these teams right here, look at that logjam, 38, 39, 40. If you can draw 41, 42, you got a Big East straight going right there. What do you do there? You got 3 20-win teams right there, but none of them have differentiated themselves in such a way. 9-7, 10-6, 8-8. Villanova at 7-9 in the conference has got to be the one left out. So the other 3, boy, I'll tell you what, you are
Syracuse out or in?
66 is the RPI, and the way they played the last half of the season, I just don't see how. Unfortunately, they may get the chance to win the preseason and the postseason NIT, and I say unfortunately only because when you win the preseason NIT, obviously your aspirations, they were in the top 10 team early in the year, and it certainly went south on them.
Bill Martin, a wide-open jump shot to get Hawaii within 2. The Rainbow Warriors trying to win their 3rd WAC tournament championship. Tulsa trying to win its 1st, the 3rd straight year that the Golden Hurricane has gone to the championship game, though, and they have been right behind Duke in terms of winningest programs in college basketball the last 3 years. It's Duke, then it's Tulsa, then Cincinnati.
One of the rich basketball histories literally in the country, certainly of the last decade, and as you mentioned, the last few years, but even well back beyond that. This has been a very strong program since Nolan Richardson took over.
Swanson can't get the shooter's roll. Martin with the rebound. Here comes Hawaii. McIntyre lost it out of bounds, and he lost it himself.
I can't tell if Swanson got a hand on that, but nonetheless, he did a good job of getting back just to break it up and interfere with it and turn it into a turnover. And this has been a game that has not had very many turnovers.
When's the last time you saw a college basketball game go to the 2:30 mark? That's the first turnover for Hawaii.
Well, they as quickly and as efficiently as they work on offense, I'm not that surprised. But you're right, even running your offense dry to go that long and not have a turnover.
You run the dummy offense in practice, you turn it over
more than that. Absolutely.
Harrington left alone, and he's got to burn a timeout.
Well, it's good to use that 30. Won't carry over anyway. Maybe you could draw a play up here. 14 on the shot clock. See if John Phillips can come up with something.
Now, don't forget, tomorrow we'll have extensive coverage of the NCAA women's and men's tournament fields. At 5 o'clock Eastern, Robin Robertson Company take you through the women's bracket, the NCAA women's tournament selection special. And at 6 o'clock, SportsCenter takes over. They'll reveal the men's bracket, the rest of the day in sports as well. They'll cover there. And that's 7 o'clock. Chris Fowler, Dick Vitale, Digger Phelps, Kay Billis, Mike Tirico, and a cast of thousands analyze this year's field of 65. The men's NCAA tournament selection special presented by Staples. And what about your bubble teams right now?
Well, some of these are bubble teams just because I think they're interesting, and I'm not sure they're bubble. I don't think Memphis has any chance to go, but that gaudy record and all that talent, that was surprising. Syracuse, we talked about their fall from grace. Southern Illinois, that 50 RPI makes you a little nervous, but I think they should go. What do you do with a Virginia who winds up 7-9, Terry, lost by 20 points in the ACC tournament? So that's why those guys spend those long hours in that hotel room trying to make sense of it all. But there are some that are going to be very, very dicey propositions at best. And a couple of those teams, I think, are relatively simple. And we'll find out if I'm right tomorrow.
Bernanke with the offensive foul. And Riley Wallace didn't like it. Tulsa has gone the last 6.5 minutes without a field goal.
Well, you know, as we talk about, they do other things well. Hawaii leads the conference in defensive points allowed. They're 3rd in steals. Tulsa, as we mentioned, 2nd in the conference in block shots and 1st in steals. So I don't mean to imply they're one-dimensional, but when you have built it on what you're doing at the offensive end and you're shooting the kind of percentages we're seeing today, 34 and 33%, you're going to get some droughts like we've seen. And it's been tough for either team, certainly for Tulsa, when they had the opportunity to get some separation. They can't put any room between themselves and the Rainbow Warriors, and so we go to the last 2 minutes here. Still very much a dogfight.
There's Greg Harrington's parents in the crowd. I know they're on camera right now.
Mom's always clapping. Dad's always looking concerned. He's always got the hand on the chin. All the dads are like that. Right? My dad was like that.
Very pensive. Bernanke, nice back door.
Nice pass. This is a team that loves to pass the basketball. Both these teams do 1 and 2 in the conference in assists. You saw it right there.
By the way, your dad was like that because your brother did all the talking.
Well, that's for sure. That was everybody in our family.
Rugby scrum. Possession arrow to Hawaii.
Now let's take a look here and watch the nice cut off the screen here. You'll see As the screen goes down right there, he slides it and steps to the basket. It's a slip screen. You've got to have an instantaneous decision there to see what the defender does. If both guys just for a second go with the cutter, you got to make that cut, and the big guy at the top's got to see it, make that nice bounce pass into the lane.
Not to make too much of the international flair of this team, but that is something that international players do very well.
Just going to say that at the time it happened. We talk about all the different languages they speak, but their basketball language is pretty similar, and that's a good example of it right there. Post people, especially overseas, step away from the basket, make that pass, they'll hit that back row cutter they look for.
Shot clock running down. McIntyre lets it fly from 3, and his short gets it back though.
That kills you when you play the great defense. Coaches hate second chance opportunities, especially when it's a desperation shot as the shot clock is just about to run out.
About a 12-second difference, shot clock and game clock here to the end of the first half.
Who'd have thought we'd have a 29-27 jobber, the offensive firepower on these teams.
Two best offensive teams, two best teams in the Western Athletic Conference. Martin, the drive. Ingram tried to take the charge, but he gets called for the block.
Yeah, it's good effort, but it's the right call. Not there in time. You know what this may speak to as much as anything, Terry, is the third game in 3 days syndrome.
Yeah.
The legs get a little bit weary. You watch Ingram's trying to make the right play, but not there yet. He's got to be there before the player gets airborne, and you can see, not quite.
Third game in 3 days, and for Hawaii, they have traveled an awful lot, and it's taken its toll. By the way, coming up at halftime, 7-Up halftime report, Reese Davis will bring you the story of NC State still standing in the ACC tournament.
Gannon. Look at that's the story right there for T.
Luke Recker leading Iowa, and the tickets that have been punched to the dance. Yeah, how about that Wolfpack today?
I got that. So you got that alumni ring back on your hand today.
First time they go into the tournament since '91. Last possession before halftime as Harrington will run down the clock. Time for Hawaii here with 4, but you got the double dribble. Shimonovich in a position he's not used to being in.
Yeah, bad mistake, because when you get a guy like Harrington and not, you talk about how many big shots he made last night, for him to just unfortunately stumble and not be able to get a shot away, Hawaii has to at least get the last shot of the half. Now with 3.9, Tulsa's going to get a chance to get a shot away.
Harrington
shooters.
Only 1 out of 5 in the first half.
Going to get it back. Ooh, they throw right back to him.
Antonio Reed tries to get the handle. He can't. Throws one up, and it almost went in off the glass. And Tulsa went the last 8 minutes and 45 seconds of the first half without a field goal.
Yeah, that's the number, though, right there that tells the story. The 12 second chance points. Without that, Tulsa would really be struggling a bit, which is surprising because, as we said, Hawaii is not shooting especially well. And so you just find some way to get it done, and Tulsa has done it on the offensive glass.
Tulsa basketball, they open up the second half. Maybe the 3 games in 3 days taking its toll.
Well, certainly on jump shooters' legs, I don't think there's any question about that. Maybe it's just simple law of averages, because I'm not sure you keep shooting at the percentages that especially Savovich shot last night.
Charlie Davis, who had a good first half. Here's Dante Swanson from 3-point range. Campbell with the rebound.
The thing that you look for is somebody else to step up. We talked about the regular season, 2 different career highs other than Savovich. Somebody has to do that. Maybe that'll be the guy this half.
Phil Martin with his 9th point off the dish from Savovich. So Hawaii with the opening bucket here in the second half. First Hawaii lead since the 18-11 mark in the first half. It was 6-5. Harrington struggled from the field in the first half. Kevin Johnson misses. Here come the Rainbow Warriors. Campbell.
Nice.
Good look to Martin, who gathered himself, and he's up with his second bucket here in the second half. He's got 11.
Well, now maybe it's following the Hawaii script. Big game out of Savovich. Somebody else stepping up with some big numbers. Martin in double figures now.
Here's Antonio Reed, blocked by Shimonovich. Martin got his pocket kicked, but knocked out of bounds. And let's go to Reese Davis for an update on the Big East. Reese?
Okay, Terry. Big East, Pittsburgh, UConn. Ben Gordon already been a hero in this tournament. The freshman doing it again, putting UConn up by 5. But Zavotskis answered that with a 3. And by the way, Brendan Knight, preliminary report, nothing torn in that knee he injured.
So a good one going on in the Big East, and one here. as Hawaii starts to take control. Savovich with the hoop. Harrington, contact, no call. Johnson over the back. Simonovic clears it.
You see how often they reach in transition. That's why they lead the conference in steals. They almost got one right before we went to Reese for that update and tried to get another one there. You got to be careful with the basketball in transition. Just when it looks as if they're just going to settle back and play defense, they'll jump out at you trying to get the turnover.
Savovich has got Swanson, who's only 5'10". He wants it on the block. Here he is. Turnaround.
I'm telling you, it is just a clinic. You didn't even get the words out of your mouth, Terry, that he's got a 5'10" guy. He's got him posted up on the block, puts him right on his back, makes the little turnaround. He doesn't give you 1 second to rest defensively.
He's got 16, and not only that, credit their offense entirely, and Riley Wallace knowing that they had to get the ball to Savovich because he had the height advantage. The turnaround, the sweet shot from the senior.
Season on the Brink premieres tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern on ESPN.
Kevin Garnett, the kid, player of the present and future, ideal player of the 21st century. What up?
We call him KG the Kid.
KG.
But if you seen him with a basketball, you know that he grown. You seen him on the ball court, you know that he home. It's like every dunk is drastic. First to get drafted out of high school since Moses Malone. Everybody gotta earn their turn. I think the kid game got hotter since his jersey burned. And you couldn't find a finer kid than a 7-foot South Carolina kid obsessed with balls. And the rim need a hard net. Better act like you know. Come on, dog. That's Kevin Garnett. About to get an and one, all of your mugs. Said he play around the clock cause it's ball in his blood. He ain't think about a turnover. That's KG. He the player of the future. And the game about the turnover. Think you got game, then you gon' have to learn over.
KG.
If you could peer into the soul of the newest Mazda, what would you see? The new 200 horsepower Mazda MPV. Body of a minivan. Soul of a sports car.
Reese Davis back in the studio, updating the Big East again. 60-58, UConn by 2. Ontario Lent working on a Mecca Okafor, the shot blocking machine, but the big fella gets that wide rear end into him. He can't get to him. All tied at 60. 1.7 seconds left to go now, and this one will keep you up to date.
Wow, what a great finish. Straight ahead in the Big East. Here, Hawaii is taking control. Tulsa has gone well over 10 minutes without a field goal when you go back to the first half, and it's a 21-4 run for the Warriors. And there's the steal by Martin.
That's surprising. Harrington usually makes better decisions than that one. That was not there. Well, they put it in his hands when they needed a bucket. He's going to make a play for them. When you're struggling to Terry, you know the place to make a play is on the defensive end. Somebody get a stop and a run out and a steal. That's what you look for.
Are you saying I struggled often? Campbell, the drive. Can't buy it. Kevin Johnson, the rebound.
Got some transition.
Good kick. Harrington thought about it for a moment.
Extra pass. They need to move it around a little bit.
Oh, good move by Dante.
Or you could do that. That didn't look like it was there at all. The team that shoots as well as Tulsa, you want to get that defense chasing you a little bit. Swanson got him to chase him by himself. Just a little dribble cat and mouse game, and the baseline opened up for him.
First bucket of the second half for Tulsa. Simonovic on the line. That's a deuce, but it counts.
And you got a 6'10" guy who can step that far out and shoot it so effortlessly. So many facets to a Hawaii offense.
Well, who do you key on? You have to start with Savovich, but there are so many weapons offensively.
Well, that's why I think those 2 buckets by Martin to start the half were so big.
Swanson pressed the issue again, couldn't get it to go.
There is Martin with that rebound.
Carl English draws contact, no foul, gets it back.
Effort by English.
Tied up, and it will stay at this end. Hawaii basketball on the possession arrow.
And then Alex English for a minute there, going to the glass. Really strong effort there. Both teams, you know, this is one of those things that it was almost a silly discussion. Well, they're probably both going to the NCAA tournament. how important is it to win this game. Watch that play. See how important it is. Those two guys were flinging each other to the floor.
Harrington on the bench right now. Yeah, make no mistake. Maybe there's a little bit of pressure taken off the fact that you think you're already in, or pretty much know you're already in. But both of these teams, given their rivalry, given their history, given the fact that it's a conference tournament, that's a special time for a college basketball player.
Absolutely. They want to win this championship. They want to hang a banner in your building. There's a bunch of them in here for Tulsa's rich tradition and rich history. We talked about that. They want to add another one.
Phil Martin, who got them on track in the second half. Two quick early buckets. Not this time, though. And here come the Golden Hurricane. Reed off the glass. Antonio Reed.
You know what? Little things. Ingram slapped that ball away. Would have been an easy stick back from Hawaii. Instead, he slapped it away and gets a run out for his team. Those are the things that make a difference in a game like this one.
And they turn it up a notch defensively, but Savovich gets one away and gets the shooter's roll.
Is there anybody who deserves a shooter's roll more than him? That is a shooter, the highest order there.
Predrag Savovich with 18 points in the game, and they're going to whistle Phil Martin with the foul down on the block. That's only his first. While we have a moment, we check in with Reese Davis back in the studio.
Terry, Bob, you guys remember somebody named Willis Reed hobbling into the Garden? Well, Brendan Knight did the same thing for Pittsburgh in overtime. Tied. This guy's on one leg just for the game. And he came up an inch short. Knight had to hop off the floor on one leg. We're going to double overtime in the Big East championship game. We will keep you up to date. They're tied at 60. They're about to jump the second overtime. Back to the WAC after the break.
Can you find the sports car in the newest Mazda?
Zoom, zoom, zoom. Yeah, zoom, 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 zoom.
The new 200 horsepower Mazda MPV. Body of a minivan. Soul of a sports car.
New Trident White. Smile brighter.
Ah, you are the TV cop.
You don't think we're real cops?
Freeze, LAPD!
Whenever there's a crime.
Go ahead, make my day.
Whenever there's a camera. Two real cops are ready to act. Critics rave. De Niro and Murphy make a hilarious comic odd couples. Lots of laughs, along with heart-stopping action.
That's great TV.
Showtime, rated PG-13. Starts Friday.
Over the next few hours, we'll find out which teams go to the NCAA tournament from these conferences. Maybe in the next 5 minutes or so, we'll know which one goes from the Big East. But earlier today, this is what has taken place. Boston with Mike Ruzioni in the audience up there in the crowd watching that one as they go to the NCAA tournament. Cincinnati winning, possibly a #1 seed, Bob.
And in Pennsylvania, playing what turned into a de facto Ivy League championship game, which was very interesting after that three-way tie. And it would have been, not that I was rooting against Penn, but it would have been interesting to see had they lost if they would have gotten an at-large bid anyway, because they had a strong resume. But all a moot point now because they will go as the champion. 41-33 here, Hawaii with the lead. What about the #1 seeds in terms of Cincinnati? Oklahoma taking on Kansas may dictate a #1 seed there, certainly one of them. But Duke, I don't think Kansas can lose a #1 seed. I don't think Maryland can. Savovich, even when he misses, gets the ball back. Tried again. Missed again. Campbell, the rebound, got fouled from behind. Little things, little things. Get Savovich to miss back-to-back threes, Terry. You can't let them get the basketball back. You certainly can't let Campbell go to the glass and get it. Players make plays, big situations, and Campbell makes a big one to keep the basketball for his team. Jarius Glenn picked up his second foul. Savovich underneath. Ingram with a rebound. His fourth of the game. Good skip. Jason Parker missed badly. Here comes English. That's when you wonder if it's legs, Terry, because that's not only missing, they're missing badly and missing short. Wisely, Hawaii, who is more comfortable playing a little bit slower, gets into a half-court set. Look at a 6-13 shooting in the second half. Hawaii, first time either team's been able to take much of an advantage in that category.
That's also only 2 out of 9. As Hawaii works it side to side with 4 on the shot clock. Carl English to pull up. Jump shot, he got it. And he had been struggling. This is the biggest lead of the game for Hawaii, a 10-point lead.
No basket.
Going to wipe it out, and Campbell committed the foul before the shot. And that's his 3rd. So it'll be Mike McIntyre, the senior from Long Beach, in to replace Mark Campbell.
It's nice when you can bring a senior off the bench. That's a luxury a lot of teams do not have.
And an unusual substitution, a player from the U.S. comes off the bench to replace a player from the U.S. for Riley Wallace.
Wow, you hit it on the head, Terry, and you see they're missing and missing badly. You don't get a sense that they're putting the pressure on Hawaii when they have misses like that. You feel like they're making it easy on them. Double-digit lead and could be getting bigger.
Savovich, head fake. Short. Simonovic clears the rebound, and he got pushed in the back by Ingram.
Terry, I talked earlier about the offensive proficiency of these teams. Take a listen to these. 7 of the conference statistics offensively, they are 1 and 2. Assists, assist-turnover ratio, 3-point field goals, scoring margin, field goal percentage, 3-point field goal percentage. And if you throw in one more, the assist-to-turnover ratio, 1 and 2 in all of those offensive categories. That's astounding.
English the miss. You wouldn't know it to watch him shoot tonight, though, at least Tulsa, especially over the last 8 minutes of the first half and much of this second half.
And that explains their struggles because they rely so much on that offensive proficiency. But we talked about they lead the conference in steals. They need a steal. They need a steal and an easy run out. And like that one, ooh, had a chance for one right there.
McIntyre.
That's the time to overplay. Take a chance. Shoot a gap and try to get an easy bucket at the other end.
As they run down the clock, 6 on the shot clock, turn around, jump hook, no good by Martin. Simonovic had it for a moment and lost it. It'll be Tulsa basketball. Down by 10, needing a run here, the Golden Hurricane. A reminder, tomorrow at 4 o'clock Eastern, over on ABC Sports, got the U.S. national soccer team in a World Cup tune-up against Ecuador, also going to the World Cup. Catch all the action tomorrow from Birmingham, Alabama on ABC Sports.
Next college goalkeeper, I'll watch that with great interest.
There you go. World Cup, of course, over in Japan and Korea this summer.
You're going to be there, are you not?
I will be back here covering it from the studio.
Oh, you're involved in one way, shape, or form.
That's a long flight. Jason Parker, who had 9 in the first half, he led the Golden Hurricane in scoring off the bench.
Terry, they just don't have any offensive rhythm, though, right now. It's run the shot clock down to 4 and shoot a 22-footer off the dribble. That's not what they want to do. This team, as we talked about, one of the best assist teams in the conference. Ball's not moving around. You're not moving the ball. You're not getting good looks. And then you got to dig in here and play defense. They can't get any momentum playing that way.
And on the other side, Hawaii running its offense better than it has for most of the game, with the knowledge that they have a 10-point lead. Tipped out of bounds by Martin. It'll be Tulsa basketball.
You know why that's important, though? Even little things like that. Even if you give up a defensive team rebound, they don't get a run out. You get to get back, set your defense. They're really struggling. Tulsa is offensively right now. Little things like that. Tulsa can't get the clean snatch off the board, the kick out, and off they go. They've got to set it up and run their half-court set where they have really struggled for the better part of the evening.
And Bob, much of that, too, normally comes off of turnovers. They've only created 3 turnovers in the game. Just committed one, though.
That's tough. The further you go, the deeper you go. You know, it's not football. This is not a good game to play with the veins bursting out of your neck. You got to get in a rhythm and relax a bit. Having a hard time doing that right now.
The 9th turnover for Tulsa.
Savovich has gone cold on the other hand, which should give Tulsa some hope. They haven't been able to capitalize on that.
Here's Martin, who picked it up early in the second half. Blocked from behind by Davis. Out of bounds, Tulsa basketball. Riley Wallace animated on the sideline. He doesn't agree. Would you say he doesn't agree with that call? I think so.
That man in Hawaiian shirt.
I I never worry what people say about me.
What the hell are you thinking about out there?
I'm not nice.
If he throws an elbow, you hammer them out!
Nice is for women's magazines.
Right back to where we started, right?
Nice is for losers.
Brian Dennehy is Bobby Knight.
Don't you kids get it? Playing my game is what got you here.
A season on the brink. Premieres tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern on ESPN.
What successful man doesn't have a temper?
Viewer discretion is strongly advised.
Banking when you need it. That's what we're all about at American Savings Bank. We're open when you want us to be. With over 160 ATMs throughout Hawaii, over 70 branches statewide, of which 37 are open Saturdays, and 12 branches open on weekends and most holidays. So you've got branches in lots of convenient locations with really convenient hours. And that comes down to one very satisfied customer. You. American Savings Bank.
Our top story, many airlines are cutting in.
In the news, yet another airline has decided to...
Air travelers will have to get used to less, as many airlines are...
Chicken or beef? You'll no longer have to make that choice, as many airlines...
It looks like the end of in-flight service as we know.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we'd like to commence with our in-flight meal service.
Back in the studio and back to the Big East. UConn with a 2-point lead on Pittsburgh in double overtime. Donatas Savatskas on a little roll to Ontario, letting the big fella ties the game at 64, but Karan Butler just hit a turnaround jumper, and the Huskies are on top by 2 with a buck and a half to go. By the way, guys, Brandon Knight sitting beside Ben Howland. He has been shut down for the night.
All right, Reese, that one might go on forever in the Garden tonight. 2 great ones tomorrow. NC State taking on Duke for the ACC Championship on ESPN. That one's subject to blackout in certain areas, by the way. Then at 3, it's on to Kansas City as Oklahoma takes on #1 Kansas. The Big 12 Championship presented by Phillips 66. For more information, log on to ESPN.com. From Charlotte to Kansas City.
This is such a wonderful time of the year.
Tune in to ESPN starting at 1 o'clock. Just keep it there the entire day.
Why would you want to change it? Oh, great overplay.
English with the steal. Here he goes.
On a goaltend.
Foul and the goaltend, no doubt. Yep, they're going to call it. Good.
Wow. That's exactly the play Tulsa needed. This place would be on fire. A great anticipation. English does so many of the little things. Left hand into passing lane, just as they teach you at basketball camp. And then hard to the glass for the finish. And as we mentioned, Tulsa leads the conference in block shots. So Ledoux tried to come get one, but got it after it had hit the window. And now Hawaii chance to stretch it out to 13.
English can't buy it. Carl English from a small town of 46 in Patrick's Cove, Newfoundland, Canada. Marcus Ledoux. Parker. Some movement, at least, on offense now for Tulsa.
They need to get some ball movement on top of it.
Dante Swanson, 3-point range. No.
All the shots, though, Terry, are off the dribble. No, they're not getting any shots off of a rhythm shot off of passes. And as I said, with a team that gets that many assists,
Bob, they're starting 3 guards. That 3-guard lineup, 5 out of 23 tonight.
They beat very many teams. That percentage is certainly not one the caliber of Hawaii. Good seal again. Look at that. Oh, that is a clinic down there. I mean, when he opens up to the ball, the defender disappears behind his back. You can't even see him. As soon as he sees he has a little size advantage, watch him go down. The fist means he set the screen. Now he just turns. You can't even see Harrington behind him. It's as if he vanished.
Kind of uses that other arm, too, but close to his body. It's never extended.
Yes, he knows all the tricks of the trade. You know, Terry, we talked about the tradition of this program, though, in Tulsa, and these fans. Here's some numbers that blow your mind. In the last 21 years, they've averaged 21 wins a season. I mean, these people are accustomed to good basketball and postseason basketball. They've been in the postseason 16 of the last 20 years. So this is a quiet house for a reason. They expect to win games like this.
Savovich with 20 in the game, and Parker stepped on the line. So another turnover for the Golden Hurricane.
Sabo might have gotten away with one there, T, because I'm not sure he had the position established. Again, the right play. But if he's not there in time, that should be a block. But again, he gets the turnover for his ball club.
That's the 11th turnover for Tulsa. 14-point lead for Hawaii after we were tied at 29 at the half. The tip, Berneka up and in.
Well, now they're starting to get a little discouraged because now they're getting beat on effort plays. And that is absolutely not going to allow them to get back in the game with just over 10 minutes to go. They've got to get more than their share of effort plays and get some offensive flow.
They want a 30 here. So John Phillips is going to talk it over as Tulsa trails by 16, and we go back to Reese Davis in the studio.
And Terry, back to the Garden, and what a thriller it's been between UConn and Pittsburgh. A tie-up situation, shot clock running out. Talik Brown just throws up a prayer. Bottom! That's Terry Gannon rain for the three. Puts UConn up by 5 with 34.8 to go. Pittsburgh desperately, probably still in shock. Ben Gordon coming up with the ball. Layup no good. Tony Robertson's there to put it back, and it's an 8-point lead now down to 7. 7 ticks to go. UConn has now just won at 74-65.
Thank you for the plug, Reese.
He had you confused, I think, with Derek Wittenberg. I'm not sure.
Well, that would be air ball time. Or a pass, depending on your definition.
You had good range, but you were a little guy. You couldn't reach from that far away, could you?
I got to tell you, while I have you here working our first game together, best time of my life playing for your brother Jimmy at NC State. Did he love this time of year?
Oh, my God.
He loved all times of year.
Yes,
he loved every time of the year.
That's why I miss him. He made the bad times more bearable and the great times like this unforgettable. A lot of fun.
Harrington throws it out of bounds. There was contact down low, but no call, and that's the 12th turnover for John Phillips' club.
Well, that's a killer because you just wasted a timeout to get an absolute must-have a bucket here. Didn't even get a shot, let alone a basket, and that reinforces that the wheels have flown off for Tulsa here. Shockingly, really, Terry, because even though they lost the 2 games during the regular season, they were dog fights. This now is a 16-point margin, more than the first 2 games combined.
Bob, they've got 4 points in the second half. That's it.
And here's a chance in transition. Got to get an easy look.
Harrington kicking it out. Reed, an open 3, and there you go.
Well, that's the first shot they've taken off a pass, maybe the whole half. And Harrington, typically the guy who made the play. Get it to the middle, good things happen. Got it to the lane, made the kick out. Didn't take long for this crowd to get back in it.
So full court pressure now, choking though it may be. The crowd is back in it. Swanson one-on-one with Samovich. That's dangerous. Giving away about 8 inches, but Berneka is going to let it fly.
Got to have that rebound if you're Tulsa.
Bill Martin, no. McIntyre underneath wants to bring it back out.
Smart play. Why not? 8.5 minutes. Get a new 35. Get into your offense. Tulsa's got to have 2 offensive rebounds that time for Hawaii. Inexcusable at this point. Tulsa's got to find a way to get that one.
Pass tipped away. Berneka got it back, though. Look how strong he is down low. And the bucket, the foul.
Wow, that's a possession where they had 2 chances at a rebound. Berneka almost had the ball stolen in the post. In fact, it looked for sure like it was going to be stolen. Not only do they not turn it over, not only do they get a basket, right there it looks like a steal. Looks like it's going to be taken in the back by Johnson. Not only don't they get the turnover, they get the bucket and a chance at a 3-point play. And sometimes you wonder, as a coach, Terry goes through your mind, maybe it's our night.
You do have those nights. Mindongas Berneka, the junior college All-American at Weatherford College, originally from Lithuania, now with 12 points in the game. Harrington. Good call. Through contact from Martin.
That's a good call because it clearly gave the defender an advantage there. He's trying to do just what he did on the last possession. Get a penetration, find an open teammate, and get a shot. So even though it seems to be a bump that's not affecting a shooter, it's taking away an important part of this team's offense. Harrington's guys got to create something.
And Bob, in the second half, there's been no inside presence at all for Tulsa. Harrington tips in his own miss.
That's the kind of player he is. No inside presence. I'll be the inside presence.
Parker and the foul. So maybe this is the run that Tulsa needed.
Just what we talked about, how often you get it turned around with a defensive play. They get the steal right off the inbounds, and just like that, after they had scored 4 points in the first 10-some-odd minutes, now they get 4 in about 10 seconds. Harrington, the great second effort. He's the one who made the penetration, got the follow, and then the inbounds pass. Hawaii went to sleep for just a second. Very heads-up play. They turn it into a three-point play by Parker.
So Jason Parker, the three-point play the old-fashioned way. And Tulsa, new life here in the Reynolds Center. They're down by 11, but they've got some momentum. Just under 8 to go.
They say if you're going to sell something, get yourself a captive audience. Oh, watch the sleeve. Okay, there you go. This place is going to be a gold mine. I'm not picking that up. When you bring the 7-Up, everyone is your friend. Okay, that's enough being friends.
Michelin, proud to be the only tire of the space shuttle, because so much is riding on your tires.
If you could peer into the soul of the newest Mazda, what would you see?
Zoom, zoom, zoom. Zoom, zoom, zoom. Yeah, zoom, 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 zoom. Zoom, zoom, zoom. Yeah, yeah.
The new 200 horsepower Mazda MPV. Body of a minivan. Soul of a sports car.
ESPN2's presentation of Championship Week is presented by 7-Up and your local 7-Up bottler. Make 7-Up yours. And in part by A Season on the Brink, ESPN's first original motion picture. Premieres Sunday, March 10th, 8 p.m. Eastern, only on ESPN.
Skyline of the city of Tulsa. Well, last night, we had 60-mile-an-hour winds out there as the storms blew through. Great light show outside of our hotel.
Those of us who flew through those 60-mile winds are very much aware of that. Speaking of bumpy air, it's been bumpy air offensively for Tulsa, but let's give Hawaii some credit, Terry. 12 times during the regular season, they kept their opponents under 60 points. You do that, you give yourself a big margin of error offensively, especially when you got the shooters that this team does.
Tulsa only shooting 33% for the game. That would be their worst effort all season long. But some new life.
I was going to say, you sense it in the building right now. See if this team can feed off it.
Salvovich gives it up to Bernanke. English, they work their offense side to side. Bernanke wants it on the block, can't get it. Martin decides to shoot and is way off, and here come the Golden Hurricane on the run. This is what they wanted to do from the start. Read the contact and the blocking foul called on Martin. That's his third.
It's one of those things that if you could figure out how to bottle it, you'd be a millionaire as a coach. Why the game in 3 possessions seemingly has changed completely. Here's a shot they really didn't want. Martin with 10 on the shot clock out of no offensive flow. Now Tulsa in transition drives the ball all the way to the goal, draws the foul, almost gets the three-point play. Reed took it end-to-end. Why could they go 12 minutes without getting that once? And now in the last few possessions, seemingly get it at will. So as I said, the great mystery of basketball, but right now they've got to ride it to get this thing down into 4 or 5 point range, give themselves a chance in the last 4 minutes of this game.
But you always have to make free throws when you're trying to make a comeback.
And this team is a terrific free throw shooting team. Again, one of those, you know, we've talked at length about the offensive proficiency, and we've seen both teams struggle. Tulsa shoots free throws at 75%, top 15 in the nation free throw percentage.
That was their first miss. They are now 6 out of 7 for the game.
And they're not going to hurt that percentage very much. Get a little bit of a pressure, a little 2-2-1. Nice pass.
Oh, they slice right through it. The pass from English to Salvovich.
Well, English just finds a bunch of ways to make plays for you. That time dribbled it toward the double team. As you said, sliced it, made the pass to Savo. And gets an easy one for his team.
Salvovich with 22 in the game. A long three for Jason Parker. Parker was 15, and it's a 9-point game, single digits.
It's like a horse race where you see that gap. The horse in the back is closing it with each jump.
And you'll trade 3 for 2 all night. Although with 6:43, You got to start to play defense.
Flex. They're just running a flex here. Flex cut in a down screen, and they look inside of the post man.
Simonovic had it for a moment, gave it back. Antonio Reed leads the break. Up and under, no.
Well, that's the concern about him. He's lightning quick, but sometimes a little out of control.
Riley Wallace wants to get control back for his club here.
Yeah, he likes control. And he's going to try and get some, as you said, draw up a play for his team, see if they do something other than the flex when they come back. Maybe put it in Savovic's hands. That might be a good idea.
Now, the last few possessions, Swanson has been on him, and normally he goes down low to take advantage of the height advantage, but not the last couple of possessions. Tomorrow night, ESPN, 8 o'clock Eastern, A Season on the Brink. First original motion picture by ESPN, starring Brian Dennehy, of course, following Bobby Knight and the IU Hoosiers. Reduced adult language version over on ESPN2, running concurrently with that. Speaking of great successful coaches, how about those at Tulsa? Nolan Richardson, in the early 80s, really started all of this. Tubby Smith brought it back in the early 90s. Steve Robinson went on to Florida State. Bill Self was now at Illinois. And Buzz Peterson last year, he's going on to Tennessee after a cup of coffee, but it's a heck of a lineup.
Well, you take a look, though, what's interesting is it's almost the program's been a victim of his success because each stint has gotten a little bit shorter before guys have gone on to greener pastures, if you will, and that's the big concern right now. Buzz Peterson, of course, only here for a year after a brilliant season, which they won the NIT championship 20 years after Nolan Richardson did that with his team here in 1981. And now this guy does not have very many plans to leave the building anytime soon.
I was going to say, if the pattern held true, John Phillips should have left halfway through the season.
I don't think he's looking to go anywhere. Close to a turnover.
Savovic in the corner, thought twice about it, let it fly. He's been off lately.
Boy, he has been. That wasn't close either.
Parker gives it up. Reed spots up for three. Here come the Golden Hurricanes.
Oh, you talk about leg weariness. Hawaii looked a little tired in transition that time. And Tulsa's got the pep back in their step. The crowd's behind them, and they're making a run.
6-point game, and this out of the timeout taken by Riley Wallace. 12-2 run by Tulsa over the last 2.5 minutes. This is as loud as this place has gotten all night. Carl English, little Michael Jordan push-off, no call, and here comes Harrington.
Harrington got away with a push also, so they're an even trade in the shoving department.
Swanson, baseline, kicking it back. Parker just hit one a moment ago. Can he hit one again? Yeah.
Riley Wallace is very upset about Mendogas Bernanke because he had a chance to stay on the shooter with a size advantage. He tried to get a leak out, ran past the shooter, gave Parker a wide open three.
3-point game. Somehow you knew this one would go down to the wire. Bernanke. Simonovic. Tough drive, and that's a goaltend. That one will count.
Well, I give him credit. The old saying, you got to dance with the girl that brung you. This is what Hawaii does. That's why they shoot the great percentage. See the good left-hand move to the goal, and that's close. That's awfully, awfully close. But they just stayed with their flex offense and got it reversed, and cutters and screens, and eventually the good drive.
Hawaii is 25-0 when they lead at the 5-minute mark, but got to withstand the charge. Kevin Johnson, the turnaround jump shot. It's a 3-point game.
Boy, they are now. Is there any flow offensively now for Tulsa? It is unbelievable how seemingly two different teams.
And you're right. It's got to be so frustrating as a coach. You say, where was that all?
The first 10 minutes of this half. You played like this, you'd be up by 15. Nice cut.
Nice pass, too. Bernanke down low to English. He's got 6.
Yeah, but English does so many of those little things. What a nice little flex cut on the baseline. Finds the seam, gets in there, puts it in.
Kevin Johnson, turnaround jump hook. Savovic with a strong rebound, and they'll walk it up.
Well, there are some tongues hanging out now, Terry. I don't think there's any question. Savovic is feeling it. So is Campbell a bit, even though he's been out for a while.
Savavic has had a bad back recently. He's had back spasms, but a nice cut down low. He gets the bucket and the foul.
That was the international play again. Throw to the high post. And fine cutters, they love to do that. I coached over there, and boy, did I see enough of that. Watch the ball go right to the high post. Look at a little change of direction. Just a simple change of direction. But the bottom line is not to change of direction, even though that's impressive. The guy in the high post has to know it's coming, anticipate it, and put the ball out there so when he shows himself open, the ball is waiting for him. That's not a pass you can wait on. That was a great look. Simonovic found him just as he got open.
You got to change gears, too, and that's something he does so well. Might not have lightning speed, but he knows how to change gears, and he's got 25 in the game. It's an 8-point lead for Hawaii.
Is there really a secret method twins use to communicate? Well, yes. It's called speed dial.
Introducing AT&T Unlimited. $19.95 a month for unlimited long-distance calls to any of AT&T's 50 million residential long-distance customers. Make all the calls you want, whenever you want. Plus, it's just 7 cents a minute to anyone else.
It is weird, though. I come home at night, think of something that I want to call her about, and the next thing you know, the phone's ringing.
Call 1-800-REACH-OUT to enroll.
Anything else, sir?
All right.
Imagine me and you, I do. I think about you day and night. It's so
Sir,
right to think
can I help you, sir?
No, thanks. I'm good.
Lobster Fest is back. Dive into Red Lobster's mouth-watering celebration of your favorite lobster dishes and succulent new creations, starting at just $10.99. Red Lobster, go overboard.
8-point lead for Hawaii over Tulsa. Western Athletic Conference Tournament Championship on the line in the automatic bid to the NCAA tournament. Terry Gannon back with Bob Valmeno. Tulsa making a run in the last 5 or 6 minutes, but the Rainbow Warriors with a couple of big buckets in the last 2 possessions to extend the lead to 8.
They did withstand the rally. The question is, that Tulsa's best shot, or they just soften them up now, give them their big blow at this point? We'll see. They've got time starts to become of the essence here, although the pace of this game, I'm not sure 3.5 minutes isn't plenty of possessions to give them a chance to get this margin erased.
Jarius Glenn over to Harrington. Contact on the drive, and they're going to get, I believe, Phil Martin with his 4th foul.
That's a factor. He's played well in this half.
Take a look at our N1 storyline, a 17-9 run that we just spoke of in 5 minutes, 35 seconds. Jason Parker tying his career high with 18 points off the bench. Hawaii with only 5 turnovers, and that's one of the key. And Savavic with another huge night.
Yeah, the 5 turnovers is only significant, though, when you put it in relation to what the other guys got, and they have 12. So that gives you 7 extra possessions. Team of this offensive caliber, it's like starting the game with them having the ball 7 times in a row. Boy, that's a big hole to try and dig yourselves out of. Tulsa, though, may just be able to do it. They will certainly win striking distance.
Greg Harrington with his 9th point in the game, but he's only 2 for 9 from the floor tonight. And the crowd back into it, trying to make the Golden Hurricane believe with 3:02 and counting.
Good time to go for a steal. I like Parker's mindset there. Steal that, you get an easy run out.
Martin, the turnaround fadeaway in the lane.
Well, we knew Savavic was going to be there. Who was going to step up for them? Martin, the guy right now.
And Harrington out of control, draws the offensive foul. You don't see that happen very often.
And who took it? Martin. The guy in the second half has stepped it up for them, following the same script we've seen in the first 2 Hawaii wins. Savavic gives them 20-plus points, and then all of a sudden somebody elevates their game. It was McIntyre in one game. It was English in one game. Now it's Martin in the second half.
Martin with 13 points and 9 rebounds.
A big defensive play there. That's a momentum buster. Get the ball back, run some clock.
English bringing it back out. Well coached team.
Got to pick your spots where you go for the steals, because you can't give up layups and then trade baskets right now. So you got to go for the steals, but if you don't get them, you don't get hurt too badly.
Savovich operating down low on the block. Got fouled by Swanson.
Got to go for the lateral passes out by the midline. That was the one that Parker went for early, but around the basket, got to dig in, make them miss some shots. But Savovich, so clever. Look at that. Got him on his back. Again, so heady. You know what was smart about that? We watched him do something a little different each time. That time, he sensed if he got the ball and made a quick baseline turn, he was going to be able to draw the foul, just what he did. Put him right on his back, Terry. We've seen him step back out of that. We've seen him catch the ball and kind of hold and let some cutters clear through. That time just caught it, made the quick turn to his left shoulder and got the foul.
Savovich with 26. Make it 27. The matchup that we started the night talking about, Savovich and Harrington, and you're not going to find two more intelligent leaders on any team in the country than those two. It just hasn't been Harrington's night.
No, he's tried. He started the second half when they were struggling. He was the one stepping it up. Now Parker tries. But again, no flow. That's kind of a sense that they just have nothing else working for us. I might as well try this one. And this is what got them back in it. They got it back in it when they were moving the ball, had some flow to it.
Parker committing the foul up top. Coming up following our game, stay tuned for a special ESPN2 edition of SportsCenter. Linda Cohn, John Anderson bringing you Saturday Night Finals, the bubble breakdown. Who's in, who's out, who may be in, who may be out. And, of course, Luke Recker in that unbelievable finish today.
That was the emotion just watching it on television was astounding, because obviously that's a young man who's
just what he's gone
some
through.
Adversity, and then of course Mr. Basketball, and leave the state and be treated so roughly when he came back to go and win that game against Indiana in the state of Indiana in the conference tournament with maybe an NCAA bid on the line for Iowa. How many more storylines can you come up with?
You wouldn't buy the script. You would say it's not believable.
It was believable, and he did it 2 nights in a row.
No time to wait here. Harrington fires a 3, misfiring. And no presence at all on the offensive glass for Tulsa.
That may have been Hawaii withstanding Golden Hurricanes' best shot. Ooh, that's a bad combination there. Shot the ball. Plenty of meat on the shot clock, and then a foul.
If that's on Martin, that's his 5th, then it is.
And it is. That was the trifecta of bad news for Riley Wallace. Let's shoot it too soon. Let's commit a backcourt foul and put him on the line. And let's have the guy who has really taken his game up a level in his second half. Let's have him foul out. So that was not a good possession, needless to say.
I think Riley Wallace would have settled for the exacta. Why go for 3, right?
Just a foul. And, quick shot foul, fine. But let Martin stay out there. But had to get the whole 3, though. And Harrington's a guy who'll make you pay.
85% free throw shooter.
That's not the guy you wanted to foul, certainly.
5 out of 5 tonight. And the senior whose parents are here watching from Carrollton, Texas. What an unbelievable career he's had at Tulsa. 6th leading scorer in school history. Led the WAC in assists, free throw percentage this year, and has won more games, as we said, than any player in Tulsa history.
That's maybe the most impressive stat. First team all conference. No surprise there. Well, the second free throw is important. You got to start thinking of possessions, Terry. It's 3 possessions, but it's on that 9 number. Boy, the margin for error is very small.
Campbell down low to McIntyre. He got bailed out because that was not a good shot.
25 on the shot clock. Hawaii playing like they got calves waiting offensively. Then what's the rush? Where are you going? That's your best friend knocking around a little bit.
There was not much good going to happen with that drive to the hoop.
I mean, if you got an uncontested layup or a dunk, fine. But as you said, a floating reverse layup, not the one you wanted. And then again, the compounded mistake, the missed free throw.
4th foul, by the way, on Greg Harrington.
And that's a big one, because not even with a 3, still 3 possessions. But if you're Hawaii, you gladly give up a 2 here. No 3s. Make them have to make a whole boatload of 2s.
McIntyre all over Harrington. Good show by Shimonovich. Gets back. Parker, a deep 3.
There's English again. Always making a little effort plays.
Carl English has struggled a bit from the field, but he's got 8 rebounds, and he's come up with some very big plays in this game. Well, Tulsa tournament resume, we've been saying both teams are in 15-3 in the conference, and the RPI, the key number there at 30. Bob.
Well, we talked about that. If you know, history has been a good barometer of trying to predict what's going to happen, and when you have had that RPI in the low 30s or at 30, them almost have always gotten in. And right now, that gaudy record, a tie for the regular season championship. They make it to the final game in their tournament. And a 30 RPI, how in the world could you leave it home?
No extremely impressive wins outside of the conference, but you put all that together, they got to be in.
The RPI has been an unbelievable indicator.
Look at Reed go through the defense. Antonio Reed.
Oh, man, how in the world did he even get through there, let alone get a shot off? Talk about getting through a maze of bodies.
He's got 18.
6 of 12. Almost lost it in the backcourt, but then he sees a little tiny seam there. It was a seam between 3 guys, but wisely for Hawaii, to their credit, Savo showed and said, you know what, go, have your 2. That's not going to hurt us. Not going to hurt us nearly as much as a 3, certainly, and so still now 4-possession game and time running short.
And right now, if you don't get the steal on the inbound, you got to start following, don't you?
Absolutely. And you're going to need a bunch of missed free throws from this team, which is also a pretty capable shooting free throw team. They are in the high 60s, 68 plus. Not bad as a team, and a number of outstanding ones. You mentioned Savovic.
Sports Center follows our game here in Tulsa. Don't forget the Mountain West Conference Championship coming up over on ESPN later.
I like when guys run that baseline. It's the only time legally you can put the ball into your arm and run with it. And I'm amazed how many guys don't take advantage of that. Campbell did. Got a good passing angle inbounds and gets the ball in the guy's hands he wants for a chance to go to the line.
Dante Swanson's 4th foul. Just a few ticks of the clock coming off.
Well, they got the one thing, as you said, Terry, if you're going to foul, you want to make it fast. And they did get a quick foul in there.
Mentioned Carl English was from Canada. His parents, when he was an infant, his parents died in a house fire. He's got 7 brothers and a sister, and they were raised by his aunt and uncle. And his first hoop, they put up right outside his house on the street, actually, which was the main street in his town. They played right through traffic.
Now, I'd heard, frankly, you said how many people in his town?
46.
I heard it was 39, so it's even, I heard it was even smaller than that.
It's small.
Needless to say, it's very small, and that could be the final dagger in the heart there. Well, maybe not. They give him credit. They have no quitting on this Tulsa team.
Just tells the tale of Harrington's night, that miss.
Yeah, you're right about that, though. So brilliant in the semifinal game. Struggle tonight, though.
Don't forget tomorrow on ESPN, the Women's Tournament Selection Special. Robin Roberts coming your way at 5 o'clock Eastern Time. And then at 6 o'clock Sports Center, they'll give you the breakdown of the men's brackets, cover the day in sports on Sports Center. And then the Men's Tournament Selection Special presented by Staples at 7 o'clock Eastern. All tomorrow on ESPN. And of course, that follows the ACC Championship and the Big 12 Championship. Full day.
What's amazing, Terry, is if we think back, there was a stretch in the first half where the concern was, if you were just looking at a close game, is Tulsa might break this thing open. They seem to have control. They're getting every offensive rebound and flow to their offense. Hawaii was doing a lot of standing around, and then it just threw the floodgates, especially at the start of the second half.
Dominated the first few minutes of the game, no doubt.
Well, I don't think we're done seeing these teams play. Certainly Hawaii in the NCAA tournament, and I believe they'll be joined by Tulsa. That's a very strong resume. I'll be shocked, frankly, if they don't go.
Antonio Reed, his second. Riley Wallace, as we said, in his 15th year, WAC Coach of the Year this year for the 3rd time in his career. And a couple of regular season titles. He's taken his squad to the NCAA twice, heading back for the 3rd time.
Well, we talked about the rich tradition of Tulsa. This guy's built his own rich tradition. 4 20-win seasons. This is his 5th title game. Did 4 NITs, as a matter of fact. And as you mentioned, 3-time Coach of the Year in 89, 97, and now again this past year.
English, the free throw. He's got 11 now. 14-point lead for Hawaii. Savovich backs away so as not to create the foul. Here comes English to McIntyre. This time he does bring it out.
We'll see if they just run it out, as they should. And I believe they will.
And they will. Hawaii won in an upset a year ago over Tulsa in overtime in the WAC championship game, and they have won once again. Riley Wallace taking his team to the WAC championship for the second straight year. First time that Tulsa's been held under 65 points this season.
Well, very impressive turnaround by Hawaii. Tulsa certainly, I don't think, gave him their best offensive showing, their best offensive effort, but take nothing away from Hawaii. 13th time now somebody's held under 60 points. It's good enough for a championship.
Enjoyed it. 73-59. Hawaii gets the win. SportsCenter coming up next. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to ESPN.com.